Good morning, John here. Well, the river has crested. I checked the gauge, the USGA or USGS gauge at Blackhawk this morning. It's at 7. I think it was 7.6 something. And before when I was out, when it was lower, it was like 5.4, I think. So over 2 feet up. It's up over 2 feet. So it'll be a little harder going upriver this afternoon, but it should be nice weather. It's supposed to be 79 and sunny. So, well, I'm not going to read today. I'm not going to read any books. Yeah, I think I had 0 views on the brain one, and I think 1 view on the nerve one. I guess nobody wants to learn about brains and nerves, or read by an old carpenter, I guess. It's kind of funny how what gets views and what doesn't get views on YouTube. I watched one the other day. I think it was like, I don't know, half hour long. It was supposedly solving a crime. After it was over, I read at the bottom it was all fiction, and I'm thinking, oh man, that's a half hour I won't get back. But I hate it when they can fool you with the AI, and I'm getting better at figuring them out. But you know, old men carpenters like me aren't very clickable. I guess we don't have much that's of interest, I guess. I do the speaking. I figure this is good for me because I'm learning how to speak. I don't use any notes or anything. That's pretty obvious, right? But it's kind of, I think it's good for the brain too. Actually, they say crossword puzzles are good for the brain, but I also putting thoughts together in the brain. That's the thing that scares me about AI, or one of the many things that scare me about AI. Can you imagine if you're trying to do a transaction or whatever, and all you're dealing with is AI, no human at all that you can complain to? You're complaining to the AI, and can you imagine a world like that? Scary. Yeah, but no. The reason I was reading the chapter on the nerves and his chapter on the brain. I'd forgotten a bunch of that. I don't understand a lot of it, but I enjoy reading things that I don't understand and don't know about, because I think maybe I'll retain some of it maybe and learn about it. But I had no idea that the brainstem controls your blood pressure, is a big part of your blood pressure. So if you've got some pinched or tense in your neck, that can affect your blood pressure. Because one of the blood pressure medicines that I was on that I quit was causing me to get skin cancer. I had to go to a dermatologist, and they gave me a cream that killed off all of the cells that were cancerous, and then in hopes that the good cells will grow. And so far they did. I got to go back in a year. But and then the reason I was reading the chapter on the nerves is this whole injury in my left side, or whatever it is, from working construction and stuff all the years. It's the thoracic outlet and all those nerves and the bundles that go through there, the miles and miles of nerves. But yeah, I think the more you can read and learn on your own, I think the better, because our culture, it seems that it's getting more and more ungodly, and the more and more ungodly it gets, the more and more ungodly wisdom you might get from so-called professionals. I think a lot of them are making their decisions not so much on our health, but on this. So I think it's wise to be knowledgeable of what they're diagnosing you with and how they're treating it. Just food for thought. But all right, you all have a good one, and you take care, and I'll see you out on the river. God bless.